motioned and unanimously approved that the woman be accepted into membership in the congregation. It's a true story. Yeshua told Shimon, I tell you, her many sins have been forgiven, for she loved much. You've got to hear that. Love conquers sins. If you love much, that deals with a lot of sins in your life. But how can we know that she loved much? How do we know? Because when she kissed Yeshua's feet, she got down on her knees. She knelt before Yeshua because he was righteous and she wasn't. And our reluctance to get on our face before the Lord is because of our self-righteousness and our pride and our seeking approval or worry about disapproval from those around us. We spend more time in our services, in our fellowship, worrying about the feedback or the whatever is being perceived of us than getting on our face before the Lord and thinking about what God is thinking about us in this moment. There are many people today that don't want to kiss Yeshua. He's not important to him or them. And there are others who are willing to kiss Yeshua, but they do it as if like they're equals. Not as their God, but as an acquaintance who they can listen to if they like, but ignore if they choose. But then there are those who kiss Yeshua in the way this woman did, this sinful woman. They know they've sinned, they know they've fallen short, and they realize the only proper way to approach the Messiah is to drop to their knees before him and give him the love he deserves because he has forgiven so much. But see, Shimon knew the word, but he didn't know the Lord. Let me say that again. Shimon knew the word, but he didn't know the Lord. He knew the customs, but he didn't have a relationship with the Messiah. Right? That's right. They know they've sinned and fallen short. And they realize that the only proper way to approach Yeshua is on our face before him. And we've got to give him the love he deserves because he forgives so much in our lives. But Simon, I don't think he gets it. I don't think he loved Yeshua because he really didn't think he needed a Savior. He didn't think he needed a Savior because he loved himself. He was in Perush. Isn't that enough? My goodness, I'm a rabbi. I'm a teacher. I study the Word every day. I study Torah every day. Isn't that enough? And more, like a big burrito, he's wrapped himself up in his own self-righteousness. And there's little room to love anyone who loves themselves more. He couldn't even love God. 1 John 4, verses 7 and 8 tells us, love is of God. And everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. It doesn't stop at our rebirth. It stops at our relations. It continues in our relationship. You get born of God, and then you get to know God. Without love and compassion for others, besides yourself, Shimon, well, he neither understood nor loved the real God of his people. And when Shimon the Pharisee looked at this woman, all he saw was a hooker. All he saw was a prostitute. A gaudy, pitiful, sleazy woman. That's all he saw. And that's all she was to him. That's all she's ever going to be. That's all she's never going to change. And when Shimon looked on her in his house, that's how he viewed her. In his house. Some of you remember the evangelist Tony Campolo. Regardless of what you think of him, some of it's positive, some of it's negative. He did write this once about a college class that he taught, and he had a Jewish student. It's a true story. And one of these Jewish students commented that Jesus never met a prostitute. Tony's going, wait a minute. What do you mean he never met a prostitute? This young lad has obviously not read the New Testament. And he thought to himself, here's my chance. I'm going to put this boy in his place. I'm going to show him a thing or two about the Jewish Messiah Yeshua and about the New Testament. And so Tony says, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I'll show you in the Bible where the young man, no, you didn't hear me. You're not listening to me. I said, doctor, Jesus never met a prostitute. And Tony says, no, I disagree. And he's in the process of getting out his New Testament. And he starts to leaf through the pages of his Bible, searching for the passages, because he knows the Bible. He knows that New Testament. He knows that Bible. He knows front and back. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He met with prostitutes. What just cocky Jewish student trying to pull on me anyway? I'm going to put him in his place. He searched for the place where Yeshua gave the woman at the well a chance for spiritual renewal. And once again, the Jewish student spoke out, with no disrespect, sir, you're not listening to me, doctor. You aren't listening to me to what I'm saying. I'm saying that Jesus never met a prostitute. Do you think that when he looked at Mary Magdalene, he saw a prostitute? Do you think when he saw whores, when he looked at women like her, doctor, listen to me, Yeshua never met a prostitute. When Yeshua looked at such women, he didn't see them as they were. He saw them as they could be. Who knew the New Testament better? Because he knew the spirit of the New Testament. That's what Yeshua came to bring. Otherwise, it's just Torah, it's words, legalism without spirit. To Yeshua, sin has always been an ugly, aqua-colored film that hides the true beauty that is underneath. It's an aqua-colored filth that needs stripped away to reveal the image of God that has clouded that life in all our lives. When we humble ourselves, in conclusion, brothers, we humble ourselves at the feet of Yeshua, when we acknowledge our sin, the real nature of our spirits and hearts, then and only then will Yeshua take away that film of sin and remake us in the image of his Father. We've got to let him peel that film away. Please rise. As we bow our heads in prayer, Father, more often than not, it's those that are the common people. We're not the theologians, the great teachers and speakers at seminars. We don't have big shows. We don't have followings. We don't have books. We don't have radio programs, TV shows. No, we're just common people, like this lady, who have sins. And when we come into the presence of God, for many of us, we recognize that. And it drops us to our knees in humility. For we have no righteousness of our own. But so many, Father, they have self-righteousness. Father, I pray in Yeshua's name that if this message is spoken to anyone today, that, Lord, that would pull that film of deception away. And Father, that we would come to see that we were made good, but we have covered what was good with a film of sin and self-righteousness and arrogance. Humble us, Father. Peel away the layers so that we can get to our hearts and get to our need for Yeshua. Let our love, Father, for him be poured out in our love for others. We pray these things in Yeshua's name. The congregation says, Yivarech Yahweh v'yishmerecha Sa'adonai panav alecha v'chonecha Sa'adonai panav alecha v'sim lecha shalom. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. I pray the Lord will lift his countenance upon you, that he will grant you his shalom, his peace. B'shem Yeshua Adonai. And the congregation agrees?
Amen.